Yo, check it. Hey yo, check it out. This week is gonna be truly insane. Watch to the end of the video to get a crazy connection about a rare coin that could send this coin going to the moon. If you are following crypto or in crypto, you're gonna wanna see this. It's at the very end of the video. But we're gonna be talking about the Trump tariffs in this video, how it's gonna affect AMC and GME and the overall stock market and crypto. We're gonna be looking at what the charts, facts, and technicals are saying and breaking it all down, letting the charts data guide us. Again, it's up to you to decide whether I'm wrong or right, and do your own research and due diligence. But let's not waste any more time and hop in the charts, facts, data. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, what is up? You are back for another video with Datazero. In this video, we're looking at AMC, GME, SPY, and the overall stock and crypto market. And this week is literally going to be the most wild week we have ever seen. Historical things are happening right now. If you haven't heard, if you're late to the party, you have been missing a lot, okay? Trump tariffs are in effect, and Mexico and Canada are not happy, okay? So these went into effect. It's going to be 10% for China and 25% for Mexico and Canada, and they are not happy. We have reports of them being confused and potentially moving to retaliate against this. And again, I'm not trying to paint a picture of doom and gloom, but I'm just telling you realistic scenarios that could happen. And we could see a start of a trade war because of this. Now, in the beginning, I do think this could cause some inflation, prices to go up, but it's going to also cause a liquidity injection into the overall economy that Trump thinks we need that. So I do think we could see in the short term some inflation, but in the long term, it could be beneficial if these do hold up. Right now, we haven't seen anything moving into Monday. We need to see really moving into Monday if they are officially imposed and they remain imposed. But it does look, as of right now, they are signing in the law that he did sign them in, and these will be moving into place, and we'll see if they officially start charging China and Mexico and Canada these tariffs. But the market has responded, okay? The market has responded, and it is not happy. So the market's not happy as well. Because of all the uncertainty, the volatility, things are going to be crazy. SPY has pulled back all the way down, okay? We've seen a massive pullback here on SPY, all the way down to 598.87, okay? So I'm going to talk about what we could see here on SPY and how this could affect the meme stocks. We're going to break it all down right now for you right now. Let's go ahead and hop in. This video is not financial advice, should not be taken as such. Please do your own research and due diligence before buying any stock or crypto asset. Now, as far as AMC and GME, they're not directly affected by the tariffs. They're not really buying many products outside of the country and shipping them in. Obviously, they might get some things like cups or something like that, or cases or something like that, but they're not directly affected by it. But if we do see SPY start to bleed, start to truly capitulate and start to pull back insane, and you do see panic selling, and we'll break that all down in the SPY section. So maybe if you don't even own SPY, you want to kind of watch that section, or if you're not interested in SPY trading, you want to kind of watch that section, because it's all going to be related. Again, if we see a major pullback here in the markets, it is going to affect everything, okay? No stock is just going to be immune from everybody panic selling and everybody running for the exit all at once. And it will be like a light switch if that does happen. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but if we do start to see a crash, if we start to see it bleed out on Monday, Tuesday, and the bleeding doesn't stop, you're going to start to see people panic selling. And we have seen some of the biggest wipeouts in the market in history, okay? All of them because, or most of them because NVIDIA pulling back. The last one with DeepSeek, these were the biggest losses of value in one single day in history, and we keep seeing them. This market is built on stilts. It's been highly overvalued, and I think it's going to get deflated quite quickly, and people will run for the exit quite quickly. So it will be like a light switch. You will see things just start to bleed out, and then everybody will be running for the exit. So if we did see something like that, you would see pullback in the meme stocks, and that's why I always got to keep it 100 with you guys and girls, that you already know what's happening. So I do think we could see some initial pullback for the meme stocks, especially if SPY does open up on Monday and start to bleed out. You're definitely going to see some pullback with the meme stocks. But right now, RSI is getting extremely oversold here for GameStop here on the 4-hour time frame, not yet on the daily time frame. And RSI is extremely oversold for AMC on every single time frame. I think AMC is getting pushed down for this liquidity gap, and I think we could see a push to the upside. Now, I talked about it in the live streams. If you're just watching this video, you might want to check out the live streams, and I broke it all down. But basically, if we were to see the markets bleed out, and again, I'm just showing you an example. I'm not saying AMC and GME or Volkswagen. I always have to say that before I say this, but I'm just showing you an example that this has happened in history, where you see SPY start to bleed, you see true capitulation, and then you see a stock squeeze. And there's a number of reasons why that could happen. Margin calls, also people buying the stock low because it does see a pullback. This is Volkswagen. Volkswagen squeezed in 2008 during the same time that SPY capitulated. You can see that Volkswagen trended up, then it dropped down to a new low, and then bounced up and squeezed to over $1,000 US. So this was one of the biggest short squeezes, and it happened during an actual market crash. And why does it happen? Because shorts are able to buy the stock for extremely cheap, which where AMC is at. And also, I believe GameStop is at a great buying point right now. You can see that there's a huge amount of buy orders here. This green block, that's all buy orders for GameStop. So right now, GameStop's in a good buying opportunity with RSI being oversold on the 4-hour time frame. If it went even lower, it would get oversold on the daily, and that shows a very good sign. And AMC is definitely in an extremely good buying opportunity. As you can see, it's oversold on the weekly, it's oversold on the daily, it's oversold on every single metric. Last time we were this oversold, we seen this spring to the upside, okay? So there could be a place where shorts buy very, very low for very, very cheap. They're getting margin called, and they do cover because the stock is bleeding, so they could buy it for cheap, and they're getting margin called at the same time. They cover their position. This could happen for AMC and GME. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but it could happen for AMC and GME, where if you do see SPY start to truly bleed out, and I'm not talking about one day, I'm talking about true capitulation, then these margin calls could come into play. Also, the stock market giving AMC and GME a headwind, slowly bringing it down. And you better believe that the shorts are going to be dumping short shares as well. They have 4.3 million here on AMC, and they have 1.9 million here on GME. As the market goes down, they're going to be dumping those short shares, trying to push the stock down further. If they get to a reasonable price point where they feel like they could cover, they could buy those shares for cheap, sending the price skyrocketing to the upside. So there is a scenario where you see the stocks pull back and then spring to the upside. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen this week. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, period. But I'm saying there is a possibility, and we have proof of concept that it has happened in the past in history with Volkswagen squeezing during the 2008 market crash. So AMC and GME could be our Volkswagen. I'm not saying they are. I'm just saying that's a possibility. What I do see, though, is I do see GameStop and AMC having to have some pullback this week. As far as what you could see here on Monday, I think you're going to see a little bit of push to the upside here on GameStop. But then I think it's going to come down for 26.63, get a bounce. If it can hold that level, we could push to the upside. But if we lose that level, we're going to see a continuation to the downside. I think ultimately GameStop is going to start heading towards 25.67. and possibly get a bounce around that range. That's what I'm showing here on TradingView as well. Coming down to the lower end of these buy orders and then getting a spring to the upside. So unfortunately, I am having to go with a red week here on GameStop, and I do think we are going to see some pullback here on the memes, especially if we wake up tomorrow and we see things absolutely bleeding out. I'm going to try to be on the live early, but I'm working on the class and everything. So I'm going to try to be on the live early because if we, depending on what we see pre-market, is where we're going to be moving forward. So I do think we could see some pullback here for the memes. I want to keep it 100 with you guys and let you know that, yes, we could see some downside. Price targets for the downside I'm looking at for GameStop is 27.67. And then we also have support here on GameStop at that level of 26.63. Now, as far as AMC is concerned, I think AMC is coming down for the gap fill at 302 to 296. There's a gap fill made by AMC. And again, it's kind of funny that we're coming back down to that gap fill. That's the same gap fill that we made when we sprung up to the upside last time after bleeding out and getting to that oversold territory on the weekly time frame. So we got that oversold territory in the weekly time frame, and then we got that spring to the upside. We're back to that oversold territory on the weekly time frame. We could again see that spring to the upside. Again, we're way outside of the bands too. Everything is showing that AMC is going to see a return to the upside. There's also multiple gap fills to the upside. So I think what we're going to do is probably bleed out a little bit further, get down to this lower price point, and then see a recovery back to the upside. In my personal opinion, I think the price targets to the downside that I'm looking at for AMC is 302 and then that 296. I think once we get around that range, we should start to see a recovery and then movement back to the upside, in my personal opinion. But unfortunately, I am going to have to say a red week for AMC and a red week for GME. I know that's not what you want to hear, but this is what we're looking at in this current time, especially with this much market uncertainty. We have a lot of things going on with the tariffs, and then, of course, we do have major data drops as well, which could be affecting SPY and bringing SPY to the downside. So that's what I'm looking at for AMC and GME. As far as short shares and everything else is concerned, you can see that they have the 4.3 million here for AMC. They have the 1.9 million for GME. That could change as early as Monday morning. Cost to borrow kind of went down here for AMC. You can see cost to borrow dropping to the downside. We want to see that cost to borrow go up. If you see cost to borrow shoot up or anything like that, that's a sign that something could be popping off. We do have good news on GameStop cost to borrow. GameStop cost to borrow trending to the upside, and it is going higher. So that is bullish as far as that is concerned, and those metrics. Also, options chain on GameStop does still have that sporadic spread of options where they are spread out deep. Out the money options are still being bought. I've been watching the options chain, and we are still heavily weighed to the call side, both on AMC and GME, but GME in particular has these deep out of the money options. You can see as I go through these strike prices, people keep buying. So like I said, that kind of gives credence that they don't know when, but the meme stocks, GME in particular, is going to get a spike to the upside, similar to what you can see here, coming down for that liquidity buy orders and then getting a spring to the upside. You can see they don't know when, but why do people keep buying these deep out of the money call options here on GME? You can see it, $60 right here, $42. All of those green plus signs, that means that people have been buying. $27, $27.50, $28. This is for February 14th. If I go out a little bit further, you can see that people have been buying. 46, 42, 31. If I go to this current week coming up on the 7th, you can see people have been buying. And it's heavily weighed to the call side here for both AMC and GME, but AMC doesn't have that same out the money options activity scattered throughout. It does have some out the money activity, but not like GameStop. GameStop has scattered out the money activity. Here's some 550s here for AMC. And if GameStop did make a move, I think AMC would follow with it, in my personal opinion. AMC is definitely set up for an RSI and recovery bounce. Again, if we pull back, you would see that spring back to the upside, in my personal opinion. And if GameStop does bleed out a little bit more, which I think it's going to do, it would be in that same position. Not nearly as oversold as AMC, but it's definitely in a very good buying position, in my personal opinion, especially from where we came from on GameStop and where we currently at right now. So this is what I'm looking at for the meme stock. Let's go ahead and move into SPY in the overall market and let you ladies and gents, ape and apeettes, know what's going on there. So again, tariffs are going to be huge. Okay, they're definitely going into effect. We need to see more news coming out. This is a developing story, but it looks like as of right now, they're going into effect. It's going to be 10% for China, 25% for Mexico, and 25% for Canada. And it looks like Canada is moving to retaliate. Mexico is moving to retaliate. And this could start a possible trade war. And the market just doesn't like uncertainty. They don't even like the possibility of these things happening. They don't like the uncertainty of the tariffs. So that alone is going to see a pullback in the market. Okay, so I think we could see more bleeding out on SPY, but you want to be careful. You don't want to get caught shorting at these oversold territories, because right now RSI is getting pretty oversold here on SPY. You need to really see what happens here pre-market. If SPY cannot get back above 600, so what I think is going to happen is I think we're going to come up, retest 600, and then I think we're going to pull back. If SPY cannot get above 600, you're definitely going to see that pull back down towards 596.70. Now, I want to show everybody this macro pattern here playing out on SPY that we need to be aware of. This is a double top getting ready to play out here on SPY. This is top number 1. This is top number 2. I know there's a lot of lines on here, so it's kind of hard to see. But right here is your neckline, okay? This line of 591.09. That is your neckline, okay? If you break below that and use that as resistance, SPY is absolutely going to dump. You can actually see there's a lot of confluence of support and resistance there. This sloping support and resistance plus this horizontal sloping or this horizontal support and resistance. If we break below that level and use it as resistance, you're going to see a major dump in that double top play out on SPY. Now, we're nowhere near that yet, but if we did get to that level of 591.09 using it as resistance, you would see further downside. If SPY loses 596.70, that is also confirmation that we're probably going to move down towards that 591.09, and then we're going to start seeing a lot of pullback. So I am going to have to go with a red week here on SPY. I think we're going to see a significant amount of pullback. How much really depends on how this tariff news plays out. And if they remain in place, you could even see a recovery if, you know, they went off of the table. But I don't think they're going to be off of the table, and I don't think he's going to be backing down. Now, we also have some major data drops as well for this week, okay? Major data drops. We have ISM manufacturing PMI. We have JOLTS. This is going to be a big one. This is happening on Tuesday. ISM happening on Monday. Then we have ISM services PMI. That's going to be happening on Wednesday. But the big one for this week is going to be unemployment. This week is truly going to be insane. Okay, we have the tariffs coming into play. Just there's so much happening, and now we have unemployment dropping as well. We need to see unemployment come out at the market standard of 4.1. If we see it go up or down, if we see it go up, the market will tank hard. If we see it go down, it could help give a recovery to the market. I think that they'll do anything to have the numbers be at 4.1 right now to reduce any more volatility. So we're going to see what happens, but this could cause a lot more action in the market. That's going to be happening on Friday, so you want to be ready for that huge data drop that is unemployment. Now, me personally, I am hedged against a potential pullback with SQQQ. We have seen the most bleeding in the NASDAQ when this stuff starts happening. Why? Because the NASDAQ has been what's leading this rally. The NVIDIAs, the Apples. That's why when they pull back, you really see the market pull back. And so far with the DeepSeek thing, and now this, I think we could see major pullback. And NVIDIA is affected because they are someone that transfers things in and out. So NVIDIA would be affected by this tariff, and Apple as well would be affected directly by this tariff. So we could definitely see a lot more pullback. I'm going to be watching the VIX very, very closely. If you see a spike in the VIX, which we're already seeing go up a little bit, but if you wake up and you see the VIX spiking, that is a very bearish sign for the market. Dollar slightly rising, so that's also showing that we could see some potential bearishness. And of course, we also have crypto starting to sell off as well, possibly a sign or precursor that, again, we could wake up and start to see some things pull back. I really want to see what happens here pre-market for SPY, especially if you were to go short. I think overall, if you have a long position, it'll be fine. But if you were to go short right away, you could see a recovery bounce. You know, the market could shake off some of this fear off the tariffs. You could get caught with your pants down, so that's not something you want to see. Make sure you're playing the levels. If SPY breaks above the levels of 691, you could see a recovery. If SPY uses that as resistance, then you could see more downside. And then, of course, if you lose 596.70, you could see a continuation down. What I think we're going to see in the morning is a little bit recovery, then coming up back to that 600 level, and then seeing a move down using that as resistance, and that will confirm more downside. You could see a bleed out pre-market. If you see a bleed out pre-market, you could see a little bit recovery in the morning. So again, you want to be very, very careful when you're shorting. Make sure you check your RSIs. You don't want to be shorting too much and too aggressively with the RSIs extremely oversold. Right now, 5-minute and 10-minute, 15-minute, they are very, very, very oversold. So that's why I think we'll see a little bit of recovery, and that will lead to more of a pullback. So this is what I'm looking at for SPY in the overall stock market. As far as the two major movers are concerned, Apple, the only thing I want to add on that is that it did break below my key level of 235.95, which I was expecting it to do. It just did it a lot sooner than I thought. And by doing that, it's rejecting from a key level, and it's probably going to pull back. So this is also showing signs technically that we're going to see pullback, and it looks like NVIDIA also has a bearish consolidation, not even able to come up to fill this liquidity gap. And right now it has a bearish consolidation where if it lost 109.95, you would see a significant pullback for NVIDIA. So it looks like NVIDIA might be setting up for a pullback as well. It hasn't got there quite yet, so I'm not going to put that one on the table, but it is looking like Apple will be pulling back, and that will be bearish for the market. That's why I'm going to have to go for an overall red week for SPY. Now, when this ultimately does play out and we see a massive, massive crash, me personally, I will be buying key stocks like Apple and NVIDIA for the low. That's always been my goal. People think that I'm super bearish or something like that. No, I play it smart. I buy low and sell high. I'm waiting for this market that's overvalued, in my personal opinion, to become undervalued, and then I will be deploying cash positions, trying to buy these key stocks for the low, but I'll let everybody know when that happens, and that's why you want to like, subscribe, because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to move like smart money. So this is what we're looking at for SPY, the overall stock market. Let's go ahead and go into BTC and wrap up this video. So right now, BTC at time of recording, getting to that oversold territory where buyers are stepping in, similar to where SPY would be when the morning opens up. That's why I think buyers will step in, and you'll see a little bit of recovery. Again, you don't want to short when those oversold levels. Oversold on the 4-hour time frame. Bitcoin getting a bit of recovery. Right now, Bitcoin is still in this falling wedge, and this falling wedge is in play, and you could see this play out where Bitcoin could see a move up. Maybe the market does pull back and then get some recovery, but I think overall Bitcoin is decoupling from SPY. I think Bitcoin is a maturing asset, and I tried to explain it in the live stream where I have more time to talk about everything. I'm very, very bullish on Bitcoin in particular and the crypto sector. I think that it's a developing sector. I think we're still going to see bullish things from the president as well for crypto. But I think the fact that Bitcoin only has 21 million coins, again, the scarcity creates the value, okay? In my personal opinion, Bitcoin is better than gold because gold can always be mined. You can always find more gold. There is only 21 million Bitcoin, and there will always ever only be 21 million Bitcoin. It's a computer program. It's finite. And then someone also brought up that you could hold gold and stuff like that. And I do understand that. But in an increasingly digital world, and someone like me who grew up with computers, I kind of explain it like a Fortnite skin or a Call of Duty skin, how those can hold value, or a CSGO skin can hold value. We actually need something that could show digital current or show value in the digital world. And Bitcoin can also help do that. So I'm very, very bullish on Bitcoin and the technology as a whole. And I think way out the road, 2030, this thing's going to be worth a lot more money. And if you look at the chart overall, again, and I looked at the yearly chart, it's only had 2 red years, and all of the other years have been green. Okay, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. So 6 of the years were green, only 2 red. This asset has been doing nothing but going up, and I think it will continue to do that because of the scarcity, the way it's designed, and the devaluing of the dollar will continue to make Bitcoin worth more and more and more. Now, as far as the short term is concerned, we could see this falling wedge in play. You could see a pop to the upside, but I want to make it very, very clear that there is something disturbing on the table for BTC, a potential double top like SPY. And if you did see a major pullback in the market, people would be starting to panic. They might sell some of their BTC. Me personally, I won't, because I understand that that's a shakeout, and I'm buying the dip no matter what. I'm going to be buying Bitcoin, and if I get a chance to buy it lower, I'm going to be accumulating more, because the end goal is to accumulate a lot and then sell it down the road. Again, that's my plan. Everyone else needs to figure out their own plan. But BTC for me is one of the ultimate currencies. So this is what I'm looking at for Bitcoin. You could potentially see a pullback if you lose the key level of 91.6K. You could see a nasty double top that could send Bitcoin down to like 72, 67 in that range, maybe back down to this accumulation range here. I don't think we'd be going lower than 50 in my personal opinion. If I ever see Bitcoin under 50K, I would be going crazy all in. We did see times where Bitcoin has pulled back 50% and then bounced back and made a new high. So for example, here you had this massive bull run here. You pulled back 50% plus, and then you made a slightly higher high. It wasn't a huge new high, but it was a new high. I'm giving people a chance to get out. So again, everybody has to figure out what they're doing. Are you timing the market or timing the market? Everyone has to figure out what they're doing. If you're up massively, I would obviously take some profit off of the table. I know that XRP has done a huge amount. Bitcoin has done a huge amount, especially for some people that have been following the channel. And then, you know, when I was talking about this is a great accumulation range around 28K. Buying down here, they've done 3, 4, 5 X's on their money. So again, if you're up massively, I would definitely take some risk off the table. And that's always, you want to take profit. You don't make money if you're not taking profit. Now, as far as altcoins are concerned, and I do have this crazy bit of altcoin news that I'll talk to you about in the end. But as far as altcoins is concerned, Bitcoin dominance is so high right now that Bitcoin is controlling the market, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, Bitcoin has control of the market. So when you see Bitcoin pull back, altcoins are going to pull back even harder, and that's exactly what you are seeing, altcoins bleeding out today, okay? So you can see that when Bitcoin pulls back, altcoins are going to pull back. If Bitcoin recovers, and it's starting to recover right now, you're starting to see some of the meme coins start to recover, and you're actually starting to see altcoins come up just a little bit here in the last hour as well. Altcoins are going to follow Bitcoin, okay? So when Bitcoin pulls back, altcoins are going to pull back harder. If Bitcoin rips, then altcoins can start to recover. Some of them might outperform Bitcoin, but it's still going to determine on what Bitcoin does in this stage of the market because Bitcoin dominance is so high. So that's what we're looking at. Still on track here for Ethereum. We're still in this overall falling wedge here for Cardano ADA. The wedge is still in play for Bitcoin. Ethereum macro accumulation is still tracking, which I just showed you. As far as XRP is concerned, XRP major dip, and if Bitcoin starts to recover, could be a dip for buying. Again, not financial advice. Similar dip happened here, went up 20%. Similar dip here, happened 20%. Definitely could be a dip for buying. XRP has major support at 248, and then there's some buy orders here at 226. If we go ahead and zoom out and see some of the bigger buy orders, just see if there's any higher. No, I don't see any. So that's what we're looking at for XRP, and again, could be a possible buying opportunity for all crypto. I think crypto dips are for buying, in my personal opinion. If we do see the market bleed out a little bit more, you could see a little bit more downside, but I think overall the cryptocurrency market is decoupling from stocks, Bitcoin in particular, and with Bitcoin being in the lead, crypto will follow BTC. And I think we'll start to see this more and more and more as time goes on. And truly, if things get crazy, crypto could be the only way out. This could be the plan, you know what I mean? Like, crypto could be the only way out if things really get crazy. It could be the only safe haven, especially if the market starts bleeding. You could see some of that money start to go into crypto and into BTC as people do realize it is a safe haven. Again, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but I think ultimately that's where we're headed. I think Bitcoin is going to decouple, and even if the stock market did crash, you would maybe see an initial pullback on BTC, but I think you would see a huge bounce. And we've seen it before. We've never seen a 2008 style crash with Bitcoin, but we've seen it before here where the sea flu crashed Bitcoin, and then it absolutely pumped after that. So we were here. Sea flu crashed Bitcoin, market crashed, and then Bitcoin just shot up crazy. So this is what I'm looking at for Bitcoin in the cryptocurrency market. Little bit of interesting piece of news for anybody who followed and watched to the end, and I truly appreciate you. The Economist published this 29 years and 6 months ago. Get ready for a world currency by 2018. They have published this 29 years ago and 6 months. And maybe I'm connecting dots that shouldn't be connected, but what logo is that right there? Let me know in the comments down below if you know that logo before I show you guys. It's the Stellar Lumens logo, XLM. It's the XLM logo. XLM is a similar play to XRP. I don't know. Maybe I'm just connecting dots that shouldn't be connected, but I thought I would put that in there. Very interesting indeed. I am a holder of XLM for full transparency because I know what type of play it is. Could XLM trying to be positioned as the one world currency? Let me know what you think about it in the comments down below. But they did publish this a while ago, and it's kind of weird that we are moving towards a one world currency. We have things like Bitcoin. We have things like crypto now. So this is kind of crazy that they published this. Is this predictive programming? What do you guys think about it? Thank you if you followed to the end of this video, man. I truly appreciate it, y'all. This was a wild one. This week is truly going to be insane. There's going to be massive opportunities. It's not doom and gloom no matter what. If the market tanks, SQQQ, again, not financial advice, or something that goes up when the market goes down, that would be any inverse leverage ETF or hedge, put options, anything like that. There's always ways to make money. And of course, you can also make money by buying the dips when the bottom is in. So again, it's not doom and gloom. My whole plan is to buy the bottom if we did see a major market crash, which I think we could see. Bearish divergence on the weekly time frame, RSI overbought on the monthly time frame. I think we could see a major pullback, and if we did, I would be buying the dip. So it's not all doom and gloom. There's always a way to make money, and I appreciate anybody who made it this far to this video. As always, y'all, have fun, stay safe, make money. Peace. And if you want to help support the channel, hit that like button and subscribe, share the video. All right, y'all. Overall economy, which...
All right, y'all, that was the video. If you found it informative, please drop a like and press subscribe for more content like this. I talk about stocks and crypto every single day and also drop breaking news videos as well. If you want to help get market support, you can check out my Discord. It is $100 for a lifetime invite. Payment is made by PayPal or Cash App. Once you send me the payment and email me, I'll send you the link via the email that you contact me by. I appreciate each and every one of you if you watched the video this far and watch the end to get to that rare altcoin and talk about that altcoin connection. What do you guys think about that? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, y'all, have fun, stay safe, make money. Peace.